I think that because your 15K is a new price point, I would probably try to do it's 15K for 6 months, or if you pay in full right now, it's 12K. Or 11K or something like that. Because if you can pull that cash forward, it's going to be worth more to you than it is going to be to spread it out over the couple of months. And if we know the previous lifetime value is roughly 10,200, as long as you're above that, then this new offer is essentially beating out the previous one.
Hmm.
But you do want to incentivize a lot of people to try to piff if you can. And having
Sure.
the same price point both ways isn't helpful. Now, the other option is you do the 15K is the piff, and you do like 18 to 20K is the payment plan. But in a local service-based business, I actually feel like there's a limit on how much that they can pay, a
Yeah.
local ads or marketing agency.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I would try to go the opposite first, establish baseline metrics, increase cash per close, and then over
Okay.
time you can move it from 12 to 15 to 13 to 16, 14 to 18 if the market
Yeah.
bears it.
Okay. And then so I have the buy now, pay later option. I haven't actually utilized it yet. I just have it
And
as
when
an
you're saying buy
option.
now, pay later, this is specifically outsourced financing. You're not saying your own financing, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Like it's like Clarity Pay.
Yeah.
Um, I have that for 18K, just
Okay.
to like basically cover the,
The fee.
transaction fee or whatever. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think that's a good?
I think that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. That's fine. If you could test, if you end up doing 12 and 15,
Hmm.
you could test if you moved it to 15 and you were netting 12, would you increase the overall close rate? You know what I mean? Because you're making it for less, but ultimately, however you play with the numbers, essentially what you want is to reward people for piffing and like not reward people and not necessarily punish,
Yeah.
but you're taking risk on if there's payment plans. So you need to
Mhm.
make sure that that's clear in the pricing.
Okay. And then so for that, when you're pitching it, do you say the 15K first and then you say if you piff it's 12, or do you say it's 12, but if you have to do a payment plan, it's 15?
So I will typically say the PIF amounts first,
Okay.
because that's what I want them to anchor to, that price point. And then when they say, "Oh, can I break it up?" I say that's fine. I just need to charge a little bit of interest, so then it'll be 18. And then almost always, then they'll be like, "Okay, then I'll just PIF." You know what I mean? Like because they want
Oh,
to do it.
okay.
And then it
Yeah.
also prevents it so that they're like, I'll be honest with you, everything's negotiation. So we don't always do this. But if somebody's like, "Look, I can do it in 3 payments." But I want to do it at 15 instead of 18, then I'll just take it. I'll be like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll do it for the 15 on it. But I would anchor it towards the lower number because that's what you want to incentivize
Okay.
towards. If you'd anchor to the higher number, they might not even say, can you break that up?
Yeah.
They might think, oh, that's not even worth what I want to pay.
Okay. Got it. So yeah, 12, say 12K. And then if they need it broken up, like in-house financing, then 15. If they need to buy now, pay later, 18.
Exactly. And the other two things that I would recommend is one, you need to establish a minimum amount that your salesperson can essentially take in that would officially consider them a client. So they can still do that $100 thing if they need to as a deposit, blah, 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 but like they have to have X amounts to make them a client. I think 3,500 is a great first payment for you because if your CPA is 2,600, you're at least going to be in the green for that, right?
Cool.
So I would establish that as a KPI or as a
Okay.
rule. And then the second part of that is you can test this. Your close rate on the VSL is lower on offers made. But one thing you could also do is this is something I wouldn't do right away, but later on the road. Hey, it's 12K over 12K for 6 months. And there's a $3,000 setup fee. But if we move forward in the next 24 hours, I waive the $3,000 setup fee. So that way you can incentivize a little bit of urgency. Because one thing that we're missing in your offer is a little bit of urgency. Why should they buy your stuff now versus later? Which if you do a good sales call, you can explain, hey, you're leaving this money on the table, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
the reason why challenges and webinars and all that works so well is typically challenges is because it's like after this event is over, you can't get this offer again. So you almost want to recreate that on every single sales call if you can.
Okay. Do you think I should get something like that in place with the upfront onboarding type fee, or just with like that new change of have it as the 12K, and then if they
I
need
would
to
say
split
to a new
15?
change of the 12K and there's a $3,000 setup fee, but because we would like to reward, fast action movers, if you move forward with the next 24 hours, we'll waive the $3,000 fee and it's just the 12K.
Cool. Okay.
And then at that point, you're negotiating the two big questions you have, which is moving forward or not, and then the payment plan. But that kind of puts it on the table. So in a dream world, they just do the 12K and they move forward right away. And we have
Yeah.
tested is doing the setup fee and not setup fee, and almost every single time saying there's a setup fee and then waiving it. And then also, if they come back, charge them the setup fee. Like you, because so it has to be legitimate. So you can say, hey, if you do come back, I'll have to charge you the setup fee. But it really helps get the people that are kind of on the line across the line.
Cool. Okay. I like it.
If you want me and my team to install any of these systems in your business done for you, make sure you go down below and book a free revenue system diagnostic call. We're going to get on a call, identify your biggest bottleneck, and show you exactly what we would do to solve it there live. The best news is we offer every single client a no questions asked money back guarantee.